Yo, hey, this shit easy, nigga. Hey, all I'm talking about, nigga, I'm still out here trying to get it.
Contender Regime Boxing checking back in with y'all, man. What's happening? So, of course, we got the huge mega fight. Errol the Truth Spence Jr. versus Manny Pacquiao. It's going down August 21st in Las Vegas. I can't wait, man. And this is apparently going to be a unification match with Manny Pacquiao being reinstated as the WBA super champion. That's what it looks like it's going to be. And it should be that. I just made a video on, asking whether or not Manny Pacquiao will be reinstated. But it seems like all the roads are pointing to that direction. And this will be a unification match with the WBC, the IBF, and the WBA Super Championship, and also the Ring Championship will all be on the line in this fight. That's fantastic. That's amazing. But, typically in big fights, when I do my predictions, I'll do a prediction the week of the fight, right? But you guys already know where I stand with this fight. You guys already know how I feel, similar to with the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight. I made a video on why I think Errol Spence Jr. beats Terrence Crawford. I made 2 parts of those. And then, of course, we'll continuously break this fight down just like I did with that fight. Hopefully that one actually happens. But we'll as for the build-up on this Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao fight, we'll, break it down more and more, just kind of look at the keys to victory for both guys. But you guys already know that I have Errol Spence Jr. winning this fight versus Manny Pacquiao. Some people agree, some people don't. And that's cool. That's the beauty of boxing. When you got 2 great champions, 2 great fighters, anybody can win, and people going to see things differently. But this is why I think Errol the Truth Spence Jr. is going to defeat Manny Pacquiao. Let's talk about the obvious things. The age gap. Manny Pacquiao, 42, 43, older, coming off of a 2-year layoff. Now, he said recently that the 2-year layoff is going to be the best thing for him because he done been in the game so long, he don't even deal with ring rust. This is going to give him the rest and allowing his body to recover, and this is actually going to make him better, which that makes sense. For a guy with a lot of miles on him like Manny Pacquiao, that actually makes sense that this would make him better. He got time to rest and he can come back and be strong and be fast. That actually makes sense. So I'm not putting too much into I'm not looking too much into the layoff, but he's still 42. So there is a chance that he could get old overnight. But again, I've said that even the very best version of Manny Pacquiao, I don't know if he could have beat this version of Errol Spence Jr. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing. You got Errol Spence Jr. in his prime right now, strong as ever, back with Blu-ray. He gonna come to the fight looking like an action figure. Just being real, he gonna look like Bruce Leroy, like he got the glow. You know what I'm saying? On fight night. Cut up like a bag of dope. He gonna be in phenomenal shape. We know that Manny Pacquiao in recent fights has gassed early. I'm not early, but he's gassed late in fights. Keith Thurman fight, he started to get tired late in the fight. The Jeff Horn fight, he showed a little bit of gas lately, later in that fight. And again, like I said, with the age thing, man, that only highlights the fatigue more. When you getting older, that fatigue start to set in even more. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in this fight, Manny Pacquiao is gonna be very active early. Manny Pacquiao is an early starter, and he gonna be very, very active early, trying to do everything that he can to hurt Errol Spence, to make Errol Spence respect him, because he gonna have to try to get Errol Spence respect early, or it's gonna be bad for him. And he gonna be expending a lot of energy in the early rounds of the fight. That's why I think the fight is gonna be the most competitive in the first 5 rounds. Manny Pacquiao is gonna be energetic. He gonna be moving around. He gonna be giving you a lot of angles and different footwork and shit like that. So he gonna be giving you a whole lot of energy in the first 5 rounds. And if he can't hurt Errol Spence, it's gonna be bad for him later on, because Earl gonna continuously and steadfast come forward behind that jab with strength and power and ferociousness and combinations with the jab to the head, to the body, and that overhand left and that straight left to the head and to the sternum. And watch out for the left uppercut from Errol Spence in this fight. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it, man. Errol Spence, this fight, in my opinion, is going to be similar to Errol Spence versus Kell Brook, in the fact that Kell Brook was so active early in the first 6 rounds. He was giving Errol Spence everything he had. But Errol Spence kept chopping wood, coming forward with a bulldoze and bully type of mentality, behind the jab, combinations, being physical. And he slowly but surely wore Kell Brook down later in the fight. Go back and look at the Leonard Bundu fight. Leonard Bundu actually fought southpaw for 90% of that fight. Now, we know Leonard Bundu ain't no Manny Pacquiao. We know that. But just looking at the styles, because styles make fights. And Leonard Bundu, similar statue to Manny Pacquiao. He was fighting southpaw, and he was like herky-jerky in and out, similar to how Manny Pacquiao was, or how Manny Pacquiao normally fights. Of course, two totally different fighters. Let's not be disrespectful. But you'll see a little bit of resemblance of that fight in this fight as well. But you're going to see, as far as how Errol Spence Jr. fights Manny Pacquiao, he's going to fight him how he fought Kell Brook and how he fought Leonard Bundu. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be with a lot of pressure, aggression, and strength. He going to bully Manny Pacquiao in this fight. I think he going to come out the gate going forward behind the jab. But Manny Pacquiao going to be giving him so many different angles early on. Manny Pacquiao going to have some success. I think Manny Pacquiao going to win maybe 2 or 3 of the first 6 rounds. You know, but Errol Spence going to keep coming forward, bullying him and putting pressure on him. See, that's the thing with Manny Pacquiao. You got to keep a jab in his face, and Errol Spence has one of the best in the sport of boxing. You got to keep a jab in his face to offset that herky-jerky in and out, that rhythm that he be having. You got to keep a jab in his face to offset that shit. That's what Earl going to do. You know, and you got to put pressure on Manny Pacquiao. You can't fight. You don't want to fight Manny Pacquiao going off the back foot. Not unless you Floyd Mayweather or something. And even then, if you go back to the fight with Floyd Mayweather, Big Floyd, his trainer, Floyd Sr., he was telling at one point in the fight, he told Floyd, he said, stand your ground. Push him back. Because every time Floyd pushed him back with the jab and came over the top with that overhand right, he was having success. He was physically moving Manny. It's like the size showed in the Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao fight. He was moving Manny every time. Every time Floyd stood his ground, he moved Manny the fuck out the way. What you think Earl gonna do? You know what I'm saying? But Floyd played the shit so smart. He played it so safe. He was like, look, man, there's so much on the line. I ain't gonna take no chances. I'ma just coast and box to a UD. That's what he did. But Big Floyd seen the same shit that I see. What Earl gonna do? He gonna put pressure on him. If you look at the Keith Thurman fight, when Keith Thurman was having success, and you can listen to, I believe Lennox Lewis was calling that fight, where he was saying like he need to put pressure on him. You know what I'm saying? Because every time Keith Thurman was putting pressure on him and being physical with Manny, he was having success. You gotta be physical with Manny Pacquiao, especially if you got the size advantage. Errol Spence gonna have to get physical and get in the trenches with him, tie him up, lean on him. You know what I'm saying? Put his shoulder in his chin. All type of shit. That's what you gonna see. Errol Spence is back with Blu-ray, and he gonna be in the best physical condition you ever seen. And he training early. He already in shape right now. And he training early for this fight. Y'all about to see Errol Spence in the best condition you ever seen him in. You know what I'm saying? He gonna be stronger than ever. with everything on the line. And another factor, going back to the Kell Brook fight. Remember, this fight is going to be in Vegas. The best thing for Errol Spence in this fight is probably the fact that it's not in Dallas, Texas. Because he going to have that I'm going on the road type of vibe. Most of the fans there is going to be cheering for Manny Pacquiao. Yeah, it's going to be some Errol Spence fans there. But it's going to feel like that Kell Brook fight when he went overseas and everybody was screaming Kell Brook name. Everybody was booing when he came out. It's going to be more Manny Pacquiao fans in there than Errol Spence fans. That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be in Vegas where Manny Pacquiao is comfortable fighting. It's going to feel like a road game. Plus, this is the first time in a long time that Errol Spence is where his name is second. Just like in the Kell Brook fight. It's going to be Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence. His name is going to be second on the marquee. Errol is going to feel like an under, even though he's favored to win in most people's eyes, he's going to feel like the underdog in this fight. He going to feel like the one that got something to prove. The pressure ain't on Errol Spence. The pressure really going to be on Manny Pacquiao. That's how Errol Spence is going to take this fight when he go into the ring, when he approach this whole thing, the training camp, the leading up to this fight. He approaching this shit like, I got to prove something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the one that's coming to try to take the crown from him. Just like in the Kell Brook fight. Errol Spence feed off of that type of energy. That shit don't do nothing but make the monster that's already there, it just makes him more ferocious and more dangerous and more deadly. I see Errol Spence bullying Manny Pacquiao behind the jab all night, and in the later rounds, Manny Pacquiao is going to be tired and wore down, and Errol Spence is going to stop him. Like I said, in the first 6 rounds, 5-6 rounds, Manny Pacquiao going to have some success. And Errol going to have to adjust to the speed and the athleticism and the footwork of Manny. But you know he going to keep coming forward, steadfast, strong. And if Manny can't hurt Errol, if Errol don't respect this punch, it's over for him. I think Errol Spence stops Manny Pacquiao between 8 and 11 rounds. Anywhere between 8 and 11 rounds. He going to wear him down. It's going to be an accumulation of ass whooping. You know what I'm saying? Manny Pacquiao he not going to be able to last throughout that type of the work rate of Errol Spence. From round 1 to round 12. The strength, the physical presence of Errol Spence. The body shots when he get Manny on the ropes. Late in the fight, especially late in the fight. Manny Pacquiao going to be gassed, and you going to see Manny Pacquiao on the ropes, covered up. Errol Spence going to be pounding that body. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to get bad for him. This will be Manny Pacquiao's last fight. Errol Spence will retire Manny Pacquiao. Errol Spence Jr. will retire Manny Pacquiao. This is going to be his last fight. You know what I'm saying? But y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. How do y'all see this fight playing out? Do I sound crazy? I know I might sound crazy to a lot of y'all, but y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. But I'm interested to see how y'all see this fight going, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments, man. Contender regime boxing. I'll holler at y'all boys, man.